Hey everybody, it's your girl Kimberly Eichelle with part 2 of Life and Death Row with Danny Boy Steward.
All this tech work done and leaving there, my plane catching fire in the air. Fire in the air. Fire in the air.
And there is a reason why you are here today. You face so many trials and tribulations where others could have fallen apart, you know, or others may not have survived. But I believe that God allowed you to survive for a reason. So let's talk about that day on the plane. If you just reflect back, you know, who was there with you, and what it felt like. And then I want to also talk, well, we'll wait. Let's talk about the plane first.
So we were on the plane. I was
a private jet.
A private jet.
Okay.
Probably like a 12-passenger jet. I was smoking some funny cigarettes. I could say what it was because it's legal here in Vegas.
Okay.
But I was smoking funny cigarettes. And Suge was smoking a cigar.
Okay.
And we was listening to some blues, if I'm not mistaken. And we turned it up and we just flying, and I told the pilot, I said, can you turn the heat up? And he turned the heat up, and probably about 10, 15 minutes into the flight, I seen the trash bag like breathing, like pushing trash up a little bit and back down.
Wow.
And I guess later we learned that the plane was losing pressure.
Wow.
And I was kind of used to it because, you know, you hit air pockets all the time. We flew every day, almost all the time, every week I was flying. So it wasn't nothing. And as he turned the heat up. Probably about 5-6 minutes after that, David Kenner, which is Suge's lawyer, Trina, my daughter's mom, Miss L.A., I call her Miss Hell-A. Because it's a lot of hell in her. Miss L.A. and myself. And David Kenner just say, land this. And as we looked out into the motor or the propeller, it was like shooting fire.
Wow.
And smoke was coming out of that into the plane. And we're falling hundreds and hundreds of feet a minute. And all I can remember is this, I'm crying and I'm praying.
Yeah.
I remembered every scripture my grandmother and them told me.
It all came back.
I went to that book.
That funny cigarette was gone.
That funny cigarette. I was so sober, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And my daughter, mom, Trina, she passed out.
Wow.
Miss L.A. was hollering, David Kenner hollering, and Suge, I was sitting back by Suge. And he just put his arm around me and he said, God got us, we good. And this plane is like this. He kept his foot up, kept his cigar in his mouth. He was like, he got us, we all right, we straight. It's a lot of work, Danny boy, we gotta do. And we landed at another airport. And it was like I just remember the federal, the policio, or whatever they call them over there, coming to the plane, and I just jumped up immediately. Trying to get off the plane, they're trying to get me to calm down and make sure that everybody's okay, and I'm just thanking Jesus.
Yeah.
I was thanking God that I was able to make it through something like that. It was an amazing time because you really get an opportunity. I was used to what my grandmother and them said about prayer, but at this time, I was able to work off of prayer on my own.
That's good.
I believe that God had listened to me. You know what I mean? And this was probably my first encounter as a growing man to know that God really do answer things.
Yes, he does. He answers prayer.
Oh, yes, he does.
So, the plane. Then we had the night of the fight, right? Mike Tyson was fighting here in Las Vegas. And you should have been in a car traveling with who?
I'm always in the car with Suge and Pac. We were always together. And I got up and I got dressed, and Suge called me and said, "Come on now, man, we getting ready to go to the fight. Hurry up."
Yeah.
And I put my little suit pants on. And, I was always looking old as I don't know what. I'm only 16. I look like I'm with the big guys.
Yeah.
And on my way out, the valet said, they called me Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight, there's something on the back of your pants leg. And from the bottom of my back of my shoe, almost all to the top of my calf, was like some red stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I guess the only thing I could say is maybe it was a ketchup pack, maybe.
Yeah.
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
I know we wasn't eating out of packages at that time.
Right.
If we had some ketchup, they was
But
in
you
the little
coulda
pretty jars.
stepped on it,
but I could have
right.
stepped on something else. And I called Suge and he said, "Man, go get something else." I went to the mall. They were getting ready to close because everybody getting ready to go to the fight.
Right.
So I went to Woolworth and got some tape, ironed my pants,
Yeah.
double-sided tape, and got some new pants. And by the time I was on the way to meet Suge and them at the fight, your tickets at the gate. By the time I got there, on the way there, you know, he was cussing. "Man, meet us at the club."
It was over.
It was already over. And you know, on my way to the club, I went to the club and I waited for Suge and I waited for Pop. And probably about 2 hours into our party, somebody bust into the door, like in rage, like, you know, Suge and Pac just got killed on the strip. Was the first thing they said, and I just took off running.
Yeah.
And we went over to the hospital, and Suge was messed up a little bit. He had been grazed, and Pac had been really messed up.
Yeah.
You know, and to see him like that, those days, you know, laying in the bed, you know what I mean? I can remember us praying and singing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? His mother would pray all the time, just pray around and sing something. And I sung, and you would just see tears run from his eyes into his ears. And they would come in and sedate him some more, you know. And I even think God had prepared me. For something like that. I was so used to. I had hospital. Let me see the word I could use. I had hospital. I knew what to do in the hospital, so to say, because my mother had been in the hospital so much. You know, I had so many people that had strokes, died in my family. It's like hospital etiquette.
Yes, there it is.
Where I knew, you know, how to handle certain things as a young person. But to see Pop, I definitely didn't see him die. Definitely didn't see him die.
Wow.
I didn't know how much it would affect the world.
Yeah. And he was like a big brother to you.
Oh yeah, in the little time that I known him. I didn't, you know, I have to make it clear, I didn't know Pac for years, a lot of years. Just that little time felt like so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for him to have as much power as he did in the music business, and that he was gaining, and to share that with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every time it was time to sing a song, you know what I mean? I would be on the microphone in the next booth, and he would come in there while I'm on the microphone. Hey, stop what you're doing. Come here, man. Come here. I got something, DB. Come here, sing this.
Okay.
And that's how the songs Ain't Mad at You and Picture Me Rolling and Heaven Ain't Hard to Find, because he believed in my gift.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade that for nothing in the world.
Absolutely. How many people can say that they even met him?
Oh man, that's the man.
You know,
I didn't know either. I used to be so mad at him, like, man, shut up. Shut up.
I saw where you was going off on them. Well, I ain't gonna tell the book. Y'all gonna have to get the book. Speaking of the book, grab it for me so they can see what it looks like.
Yes.
Look at this handsome man, y'all.
I am.
Look at this man.
Thank you.
Stranded on Death Row. Tell people where they can get your book.
My book is available. If you would like to order from me an autographed copy, that's trumblepublishing@gmail.com. TRUMBULL publishing@gmail.com. I'll send an autographed copy out to you, mail it out to you. But if you want to get it online, it is ready and available on Amazon. All you have to put in is Stranded on Death Row. Danny Boy Stranded on Death Row.
Yeah, yes, and it's good.
And I hope y'all read it.
I promise y'all, it's not for the faint of heart. You know.
That's what I want to say. You know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll talk a little bit about those things. Like, you know, it's, you know, it's not just about death row.
Yeah, it's
You know
not.
what I mean? It's not. It's that's just the meat of it to get people's attention.
Yeah.
And people was like, "What do you mean stranded on death row? What did you mean by that?" I just I've experienced loss and death.
Yeah.
In so many ways, so many weird ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, when you say, what do you mean weird ways? I guess I shouldn't say weird because people deal with these things all the time. You know, having a best friend killed in the city of Chicago. Losing my mother at 15 years old, 16 years old, you know, like months before I had my first child. My mother passed February the 8th, 95, and my dad passed February the 8th, 2011. Same day.
Same day.
Yeah.
So, how do you, I don't want to say push past that day now, but how do you live on that day?
February the 8th is probably the roughest day of my life. It's better. It's gotten better. It get a little better.
Yeah.
As the time, you know, come, but it's just hard. I still found a way to appreciate God in that. February 8th has always been a horrible day for me since my mother passed. And I guess I could honestly say that I appreciate that he picked that time for my father to pass on that day, because I don't think I could have handled June 9th or October the 1st. You know what I mean? Like, get it all over with. On February the 8th is a day of mourning.
Yeah.
It's a day of remembering.
Remembrance.
Remembering them. That's really it.
Danny Boy,
Yeah.
you know,
My bad. Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good, you know. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And you've experienced a lot of pain, and it was reflected in your book.
Wow.
You've lost some siblings.
Yes.
You've lost a lover.
Yeah, I lost two sisters. My one sister passed in March in 2010. The other sister passed that October 2010. Then my best friend passed November or December of 2010.
Wow.
And that February, my father passed. And you know, years down the line after that, I wasn't even dating. I was sneaking around with someone. And the kitchen okay too? Okay.
He working,
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still working here at the restaurant. I forgot I was on camera. And then I was dating someone that committed suicide.
Wow.
And I guess that's when I said the weirdest, losing people the weirdest ways.
Yeah.
That was something totally just out of the ordinary. It's something that I knew I didn't know how to deal with. You know, I was so used to other people passing. So I don't know if a regular death would have gotten the attention that God needed for me to get then.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like you grew up fast?
Too fast.
Too fast? Yeah.
Yeah, too fast. There's some things that I wish I would have done. You know what I mean? To experience, you know, the normality, or the normal teenager. You know what I mean? The normal teenager. There's some things that I wish I would have just slowed it down a little bit.
Right.
I thank God I don't look like.
You don't. You don't look what you've been through.
Let me tell you, I should be looking 90 years old, hunched over and can't walk. But I appreciate the youth that he's given me.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, you have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
So, God has been good over the
Yes,
years,
yes, he
even through the midst of it all. I want to talk a little bit because you talked about being 90 years old and hunched over, and that brought me back to something in the book. You had some back issues that were going on, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, tell me about that, because I was reading it and I don't know exactly what it was, but it was almost paralyzing at times.
It was. It is paralyzing still at times. I was a day after the plane crash. We got back to the States about 2 days later, and I called myself and go straight to the studio. And I was driving down Mulholland. That's a mountain in LA. And I woke up under a semi-truck like 2 days after this plane crash.
Jesus.
And I jumped out of that, and I just had blood coming out of my head, and I just jumped up, and my music's still going, but the car was messed up.
I look for love in all the same old places. I found the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, always dry. But when you poured out your heart, you didn't waste it. Yeah. There's nothing like your love. It gets me high. Hey.
There's so much more to the life of Danny Boy Steward, the singer, the writer, the chef. Make sure you pick up your copy of Stranded on Death Row at turnbullpublishing@gmail.com or on Amazon and other media outlets. Until next time, bye.